earlier in the morning, our reports people were sending videos of of some fires going on the roads in Nairobi very very early in the morning. So if you came across them, please just send them to Africa. I will be pleased to share them. So this is very early in the morning.
This is
Around the road.
Ward KU Hospital. If you are coming
KU.
from that road, they have already started. As you can see,
Oh, it has started in the morning.
as you can see, this is Kahawa West, Ward KU Hospital. Those coming from Ward Kahawa West, please, you can take that.
I know now it has been building up in those parts of Kahawa, Githurai. The riots have been, going on, but we have not seen a lot of looting, a lot of mugging from what we saw the other time. So kudos to the people who are behaving nicely today. But let me just remind you how this thing started and why we are here now. The Gen Zs are not actually criminals. These guys were just demonstrating about the finance bill, and the price they paid was very, 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 very heavy. Yeah, they were not armed. They were not violent. They were young, hopeful, and determined to speak truth to power. So they hooked up in their spaces, the X spaces. That's when they started sharing their story, a bit of their support, to drum up support. So their only weapon was their voice, and for that they paid the ultimate price. In 2024, that is last year, most of them lost their life when that generation of Gen Z rose up against the government, not with political banners from ODM, UDA, no, or party slogans, no, they didn't have that. All they had was just hashtags, courage, and conviction. They are these young people in the digital age, the Gen Z digital age. They turned up, they turned out in large numbers in those spaces. Those became their megaphone, demanding justice and transparency, and an end to corruption in our country. We all want corruption to end. Now, what began just as online agitation against the finance bill, which went unchecked by the government. So the excesses the government kept on instilling until it now spilled over to the streets. And there we have now history was made. Parliament was stormed. So many people lost their lives. Among them, very recently, the people who were using the keyboard for agitation is Albert Ojwang, a young activist whose only protest was against corruption, against corrupt police officers. And, they took his life. He was arrested, transported hundreds of kilometers from his village. And he's not yet buried. His body is still lying in the mortuary. And later was found dead. He was found dead. He was pronounced dead at Bagathi Hospital, but he died at police custody. Albert's story is a symbol of how state can overreach, and we can't keep quiet anymore with that kind of overreach. But Albert was not alone. There was Rex Kanyike or somebody like that, Masai, who was shot in Nairobi when they were protesting in June. Kennedy Onyango, only 12 years old, was also killed somewhere in Rongai. Erickson gunned down in Parliament. Then we had Benson Mbithi was shot in Kisumu. Emmanuel Tata died after inhaling some gas in Mombasa just during those protests. Ibrahim Kamau, 19 years old, was shot during the storming of Parliament. Shieni, David Chege, both lost outside Parliament, and Kamau. So they were all found dead. There was also somebody by the name Abdi Kadir. Abdi Kadir was only 24 years old. He died in hospital from gunshots wounds. These are not just names. They were sons and daughters, students, people who were dreamers, that one day they would be, they would be successful in their lives. But that was cut short when Kenyan youth dared to imagine a better country. Somebody was putting the bullets in their hearts. According to Amnesty International, at least 65 people were killed and 89 forcibly disappeared during the 2024 protests. That states how did the police respond? There's nothing that has been coming forth from the state, but they have been targeting these online young people ever since, and it will not stop now, as I can see it. But these days was to remember the victims. It was a day just to have some prayers as young people, and remember those who lost their lives during this third liberation as put by Justice Maraga. So that is a bit of the story about where we are at the moment. But there is also another side of this story that I must tell you. And this is the side that says that the government can still do something to these young people who feel that they've been left out. You've seen the kind of online stories that have been going on about these young people. So they really want a conversation with the government, but nobody seems to care about what really matters to them. So today there were a lot of roads which were blocked from being accessed by the protesters, but some of them managed to get into the CBD through some what they call panya routes. Walibidi wakafika na wamefika pale. Let me share with you some images of these young people in the CBD. Yeah, Mbithi. Hi. Hi. Niko poa, bado niko area. Yeah, Mbithi. Hi. Hi. Niko poa, bado niko area. Yeah, Mbithi. Hi. Hi. Niko poa, bado niko area. All right, you can see that they are very much determined to prove a point that despite the security barricades, they still reach their destination, which is the CBD. But so far, there is no looting. There is, it's a bit, it's not as chaotic as I would have imagined. There was another group faction saying that, they are going to fight these protesters and so on. But I think it's high time that the government finds a place for these young people. They need to sit on that table and have a conversation because I think these protests are going to go on like this for a long time, disrupting business. Today there was no business, and same if they continue like that for a whole week of protest, which sometimes is not sustainable for the government and even the youth themselves. So we just need to have a solution to this permanent to this problem. And one of the things is that the excesses in government. When these young people see each and every day ministers carrying bundles of money, going for Arambes and all that, and even bragging that they are business people. They have been, they do a lot of business and earn a lot of money, so they can afford that kind of those kind of Arambes each and every weekend. Na hao vijana wana kakitu, and they know very well that between you and the money that you're carrying, you only have your job. Yeah, you don't have any major industry, or even if you had a major industry, it is probably the money that you have managed to steal from those funds that are given by taxpayers. So that is what is irritating when you members of parliament are going to Dubai, flossing. Others are going to Moscow, visiting very funny places. with our taxes. They see all these things. Some things you need to make them private. When you brag, when you add your salaries, and yet the civil servants, the salaries have not been hiked yet, have not been pushed up by the government. That is where the problem is. Some of these young people are jobless, others are working, and they feel that it is time that they be part of the solution to the country. And you can't ignore that. We can't. Where we have failed, they have stepped in. I remember this kind of agitation started way back in since independence. So people have been agitating. People like Orengo, Georgia Nyona. People have been pushing. People who are in colleges, and people used to riot for things to happen, and indeed the government listened when there were riots. But I don't want a situation whereby, and nobody wants a situation whereby these youths are disappearing, others come back in coffins. It is sad. We cannot go on like that as a country. We need to come to one junction that this has to stop. The killings has to stop. Yesterday, it was chilling for people in Eastlands, people who were living along Jogoo Road. Police came knocking at the doors, looking for IDs, and asking whether there is a Gen Z in the house. What kind of nonsense is that? What kind of nonsense? Gen Zs are citizens. They are your children. So why do you have to knock, bang doors of people who are sleeping at night and asking whether there are Gen Zs in the house? So what crime has that Gen Z done so that warrants you to take them away? So earlier on, even I saw the chief security, it was called the CS Murkomen. Let me play for you a clip of Murkomen. He was in the streets earlier on today.
Lakini nyinyi watu ya amani. Mko tu mboka. Okay, hayo ni nzuri. Sasa leo kazi nzuri. Yes. Leo msaidie wananchi kubeba tunasukuma leo tukati mtu aingilie Thank you. Yeah, sasa
Yes, so we'll continue giving you updates of what is happening in the CBD from our reporters. Those who are on the ground. Some have not been able to access the CBD, so it will be very, very, very difficult. But we will keep on trying to get information so that you are on the loop. But so many other leaders have voiced their concerned about this particular movement. Yes, we had Fred Ogola. Fred Ogola is a presidential candidate too. He says that the Gen Z say the fear is gone. What's truly gone is dignity, humanity, human rights, constitutionalism, and their freedoms. Only someone who has nothing to lose can lose fear. We are here to restore hope. Yes, those are some of the leaders who are voicing their concern about and their solidarity with the young people. So there's many other people who have voiced their solidarity. Former Chief Justice has said something about the Gen Zs. If I come across it, I will be able to give it to you right away. Na wengineo wale kina Kalonzo Musyoka have shown solidarity. Yeah, so many other leaders, Gashagwa and the rest. Those who are generally those who are in the opposition. Even I saw a clip where the Right Honorable Prime Minister said something uh, about freedom of agitation. So that is what is in the Constitution. But today, I think there's a lot of calmness in the demonstrations. There is no fighting, the cops fighting, youth fighting against each other. No, I've not seen much of that. I've not seen much of that. But if you come across them, please don't hesitate. I will keep you updated. If there is something new, I will also inform you. Remember, this is 25th. The 25th Gen Z's mass protest in Kenya. They are remembering those who had died during the June protest last year. So good luck to everybody who is out on the streets. Stay safe. Don't rob anybody, and go back home safely to your parents, if at all you have your parents around. But if you're staying alone, also fika nyumbani salama. Make sure that umefika nyumbani salama. So a lot has been going on. I've been gathering a lot of information from the social spaces just to give you a taste of what these people are really feeling, or what they are agitating about. There was a lady who gave. I mean, that was that was so touching. That was very poetic. There was a young lady who had a poem, and I must have missed it at some point, but I had it at some point, and I wanted to play it to you so that you listen to what the young lady was saying. I mean, that was so touching. So touching. It made me like, okay, think twice that, hey, after all, these young people, they really mean business about this protest. It's not a joke. It's not like they want to protest to show off. No. They want to protest so that me and you and the future generation can enjoy the benefits of being Kenyan, and that is very, very important. Even as we condemn them, let us look at the positives that have come through picketing in Kenya recently. There's a lot has come through demonstrations. So for me, I think we will continue supporting where we can through prayer, through giving you the right information, and where when someone is going wrong, be rest assured that here on Africa 24, we will correct. And I keep on telling you that this is a place where you can be. When the government is doing well, we will highlight it. When it's not doing well, you will also point it out here on Africa. When there are freedom and fundamental freedoms like demonstrations, which are enshrined in our constitution, let the young people demonstrate. So otherwise, I will see you later as more stories develop. Otherwise, it has been nice having you watching me from the other end. Now, if you've not subscribed to Africa 24, go to our YouTube page and make sure that you subscribe to this wonderful channel. Yes, we are waiting for more news, waiting for more drama on the streets, but so far I've not seen any serious drama that is worth paying attention to, apart from the demonstrations that are going on. But kudos to the young people. They have remained so calm, and they are not irritating the cops or throwing stones to the policemen. They are only marching and remembering. Remember, there was another group that had a vigil yesterday night in the CBD, and they were praying for the victims and their families. So it's a good gesture. It is when Kenyans come together to remember something that happened. This will remain part of our history. You can never run away from it. People were killed, Parliament was stormed. That will remain part of the history of this country. How we stop another scenario like that is what is important at the moment. So the government needs to look at ways of stopping that. And the only solution of stopping that is stop broadening the government, make sure that the government is lean and narrow, so that you are seen as saving a lot of money of our taxes. When you broaden the government, it is just wastage of money. It is wastage of money. So you narrow the government, ensure that service delivery is in each and every part. And if it is job opportunity, let it not be through tribalism that like it has always been in the norm in our country, that you'll always unajua nani ndio unajua ndio upate kazi. So these are young people, they have finished college and they need jobs. So what are they saying? Tupatie hizo kazi, and we don't want to be told like lazima nijue mtu fulani ndio nipate kazi Kenya. No. Hii nchi ni yetu, hiyo katiba ni yetu, kila kitu ile wanasheria wako nayo ni ya Wakenya. Ile gari bwana rais anatembelea, ile wabunge anatembelea, ni ya Wakenya, ni pesa ya Wakenya, ni mali ya Wakenya. So mtu asikakutishe akakuonyesha ya kuwa hiyo kiburi inaweza isha kwa wale wako kwa hiyo ulingo wa siasa. Wanaona sasa hao ndio wababe, lakini wananchi ndio wako na power. Uliona demonstration ya kwanza ya Gen Z, wabunge walikuwa napiga magoti. Wamesahau haraka sana that these young people have got the numbers to take them home. So just be careful with what you are uttering. Don't promote violence. Make sure that we promote peace and harmony among the communities that are living in Kenya. I see the comment sections, I see other people from another tribe and all that. They're just behaving the same way. So if your tribe has ganged up and bashing the other tribe, you're just a tribalist. So if you see the Gikuyu on one side, you see the Luos on the side. Those are just tribal outfits. That's the only problem is that they have got their extremes on both sides. So for me, we want one country where we obey the law and we protect lives. The lives of young people really matter. Somebody like Rex should not have died. There was a lawyer in the last year's protest who also lost it. Her life. There was a medic who was treating people. He was also shot by the police. The police just use rubber bullets. Don't use bullets, live bullets to fire this armless. Hata ukiwachwa tu na yeye one on one na huyo kijana utamsaba makofi, lakini sasa unatumia risasi ni kama hiyo ni kinyama. So tuache hiyo tabia. Sisi watu sisi mapolisi, wacheni hiyo tabia. Hiyo sio tabia mzuri. Otherwise guys, thank you very much. I'll be joining you later in case anything pops up. Nitawainform hapa, so make sure that you subscribe to Afrique 24. Make sure that you tell your friends that there's a channel called Afrique follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and yes, and all our social places that we meet. We normally have this conversation each and every day, and we talk about our country. So without having this conversation, then there will be no sanity in most of these departments, Department of Police, the executive, and even Parliament. So these are the issues that matter to us, and we will keep on talking. We will keep on agitating until we meet our goal. Otherwise, asanteni sana. Kama wewe ni wa 10 bila break, tukutane huko mbele. Kama ni wewe ni wa one term, pia ni debe tu ndio itatuamulia, ama sivyo wananchi? Yeah, ni debe 2027. If you have done nothing, kama wewe ni mbunge, unaenda home. Na kuambia unaenda home, hakuna tio nini. So you better work, don't waste your time going to the press, sijui nini. Hizo vitu zisaidii. Enda ufanye kazi huko nyumbani, fanya kazi mashinani, watu waone unafanya kazi. Usipofanya kazi, hao vijana watakung'oa kwa kiti na ole wako. Kama wewe ni bubu kule bungeni, unaenda nyumbani bwana. You stop wasting Kenya's taxpayers money. Hatutaki watu wanaenda ku parliament na kuna kitu wanaweza sema, na hiyo ndio kazi yao. Otherwise, kuweni na asubuhi njema ama ni afternoon njema mahali wote mko. Mimi sasa hapa naacha nikunywa kachai kidogo nikingojea habari moto kutoka kule Kenya. Otherwise, asanteni sana.
Sijajua bado kama iko, maybe we check.
tunayoipenda tuwe tayari kuilinda. Asante ndugu zetu. Niliona Twitter mtu akipost mtu alisema ati mtandao ikiwa amechukuliwa simu atapostia mbona siku mingi watch out bro, watch out. Leo mtandao ni tablet. Oya kwa short pana. Oya. There's no one here. We are with the senator, my friend. Yes. Who is the senator? He's our senator.
Man, karibu nikufia pale.
Ukiwa
Nimepiga tumerusha ya karibu 4 mfuatano.
sasa ndio nilibaki kumbia
Bala saiti sasa hii ni kof. Bwana unasikia kutapika.
kutoka pale. Mimi nimefika pale studio nikakata live. Nimekata live. Kisha ndio live tena.
Oh.
Kama ninatumia simu moja. Kwa hiyo ikienda live bila clips kadhaa. Hata hiyo haihesabu vizuri.
nikifinya nisivute hiyo moshi. Wewe umeniingia bwana, karibu nilikuwa nakufa bwana.
Mimi nimefika mwisho na kufia.
Naona nikwambia udishike simu. Naona pia wewe unafariki.
Nimeskini unaniingia unanichomea ndani.
Nasema sasa si wote tutasaidiana aje.
Lakini kuna ile ya Kibera last year ile ya Raila. Tulitupiwa katikati sisi peke yake. Mimi nilikuwa kabisa nienda chini. Serious. Nilikuwa na kamera nikararia ni hivyo. Sasa after wameenda kwa ile side. Na jamani walinibeba. Kama au nimebeba juu hapo. Wewe sio kitu kitu kimekuzangwa na direct. Hadi nirudisha na gani mask gani? Fanya hivi, nunua mask kama tapenye kuna microphone kama hii. Na hii nyingine. Hiyo inapitisha yote, hii hakuna kitu breka hapo hii.
Kwa hiyo
kuna white ndani. Nitakusaidia kidogo kwa sababu. Uko pale. Uko hapo. Wanarudi na hii barabara. Hata tunge access na hii. Wanarudi hivi. Anasaidia na kufunga barabara. Wamekuja na magunia ziko na vitu. Wao wanataka katikati ya barabara.
acha tuweke tuchukue hiyo video.